Welcome back to your continuing coverage of NAB 2013 live in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm Michael Artsis. Thanks for staying with us. This is the National Association of Broadcasters Convention. We're in the Teradek booth broadcasting live because of Teradek. We've got a wonderful crew from Blaze Streaming Media and Teradek, and of course my wonderful producer, Daphne Shimon. And by the way, I want to thank Steve and Joe and Ben and all these guys, Andrew, everybody who's making this happen. The guest today who mentioned an 80s reference, I think you can do it. I'm hoping for you. You're going to get either a lens bling from Black Rabbit. This is a back cap for the lens that tells you what focal length you're at. And so it's really nice. You can just look in your bag real easy. That's from Black Rabbit, lens bling. It's really cool. And you also could win a camera strap from Black Rabbit, which is awesome.
I'm glad I came.
You are. Les Zellan, the chairman of Cooke Optics, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Les, thank you so much for joining us. Cooke makes some of the best optics in the world, especially for filmmaking. You guys have been around for over 100 years.
127.
127 years.
In fact, I think we're probably the oldest still functioning company in the industry.
That's amazing. I think you are. I was getting to that. You beat me to the punch.
Sorry.
But that's okay. you guys are, and you should be proud, and you're family owned and operated.
We are now, yes.
Yes, and I'll tell you, you guys almost have 100 years on me. Not quite, but almost.
Okay.
So this is one of your phenomenal lenses. Are all your lenses are PL mounts, right?
Almost all. We do a few large format lenses, but that's obviously in the still area.
If you talk to anybody and you say, I'm using a Cooke lens, they immediately get impressed. They know that you're serious. Yeah. They know that this is legit. This is the real deal. What makes the lenses so special?
We, over the years, going back to our first motion picture lens was actually made in about 1905, specifically for the industry. We developed what's become in the industry called the Cooke look. It's a warm look, it makes people look good. It's a very nice fall off of focus.
I feel like we should be using Cooke lenses right now. I
usually don't agree to be photographed in anything but Cooke lenses.
Well, I appreciate you being here.
We made an exception for you.
Thank you.
But it's a very natural look that cinematographers really appreciate. And it's been consistent with our design going back to the 20s. So ever since the Speed Panchros, which came out in the 20s, our formula for color balance, contrast, all the decisions that you have to make in design have been relatively consistent.
I think that your lenses are phenomenal. I love using them. I think that anytime anybody sees a Cooke lens on a camera, they know that they're at a serious production. Yeah. You guys have some new lenses that have amazing technology in the lens. And you can get all sorts of information and readouts from the lens, and you can do all sorts of things. Tell us a little bit about it. It's the I series, right?
Yeah, it's the I technology. Yeah. And this is sort of something we started about 12 years ago when nobody actually knew that they wanted the data. Because it was still in analog and in film, and collecting the data was somewhat hard, but the effects people really could use this data in producing effects. It helps them do the tracking much more accurately. And on the set, if the lens can talk to the zoom controller, the focus controller, the iris motor, if all these things can communicate on the set, it can work much easier too. Your focus control you don't have to teach it where the marks are. It can simply talk to the lens and the marks are there. So both in post-production and in acquisition, the metadata makes a lot of sense. And what we've tried to do with the I system is pretty much give it away. I mean, our competitors, both Angenu and Fujinon, were friendly competitors. We've licensed them to use the I system. Arri uses the I system, Red uses the I system, and Sony has picked up on the I system. So we're trying to make sort of a universal language for metadata exchange in the PL world.
I think that's good, right? I mean, a lot of times competitors say, oh, we want proprietary technology and we want proprietary names and we want, but I think it's good because it promotes more people using it, and then they can go between, they can say, you know what, we want to use Cooke Optics, and now they know how to use Cooke Optics correctly.
Yeah, and what we've tried to do by making it an open system is you're quite right. If there are 3 or 4 competing systems, what happens is nobody uses any of them because
Right.
this doesn't work with that, and so what we
I'm
tried
going
to
to
do.
give you an 80s reference. What about beta tape? And I'm not talking about beta that we would use professionally, but beta versus VHS.
Absolutely.
Sony lost out because they kept it proprietary and closed, and everybody else got together and said we create VHS.
Yep.
Wasn't as good, but
It won.
it won.
And we happen to think our system is better. Being an open system, I think is much better because, as I said, it really lets people use it. I mean, you can go to the Cooke website, you can download the protocols, and with a little bit of computer knowledge and a serial cable, you can be talking to the lens.
It's so amazing. I was checking it out the other day, and I just know putting a lens on and using it, but then when I was looking at all the information and being able to do this stuff and get all that information, it's phenomenal. Let's talk a little bit about this lens. Are all your lenses made in the UK?
Yes.
Okay. And the thing I like about that is I really do like things that are made in the US, made in the UK. I feel like it brings forth a lot more quality when it's done like this.
We'd certainly like to think so.
Yes, and you can see
these are literally handmade lenses.
they scream quality. This is the Ferrari of lenses.
Maybe the Bentley. Maybe.
I'm sorry, right? It's the Bentley of lenses. Of course. And so this is a 40 millimeter. It's a 2.3.
Well, this is actually a new product. We just introduced it. You obviously didn't look at our website after Friday, because on Friday we announced this series of lenses. This is a new anamorphic series. With digital, there's been this quest for people to make their work look different.
Yeah.
Because digital can be a great sameness to it, which film didn't have, because the film had the grain structure.
Film is beautiful still.
Film had other stuff going on, but in digital, it's pretty well locked down. So there's been this explosion of interest in anything that will give the shot some character and some personality. And anamorphic is enjoying a great resurgence, not because everybody wants to use every pixel, but because people want a different look. So we've developed a whole new range of anamorphic lenses, specifically really around the digital camera.
That's phenomenal. I could see this on a GH3 or a hack GH2. Could you see this on that with a PL mount? Is that something? Yeah. I mean, Francis Ford Coppola did say he would shoot his next film on a GH2, and he loves the camera.
Yeah, you can. This is really built around a 4x3 sensor because it's a 2x squeeze.
Okay.
So right now, the only real cameras out there for that are really looking at the Alexa.
Yeah.
But
the Alexa's gorgeous. That's my favorite camera, I think.
But
overall, that's the best camera.
I think there'll be more and more 4x3 sensors hitting the market because there's really, as I said, anamorphic is just a different look that people are looking for.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I know that there are ways that you can trick your DSLRs, your GH2s, GH3s into shooting anamorphic, but it's not true anamorphic. It's tricking the camera.
Right.
Yeah. So what does a lens like this go for? Let's give people a little bit of an idea. And they're not cheap.
They're not cheap, but
neither's a Bentley.
There you go. These lenses will run for there's a 7 in the series from 25 to 135, and they're each 27,500.
You know what? I think it's look. If the most important thing about shooting a movie is really your lenses and your camera. Because if you don't have the right camera and you don't have the right lenses, the picture doesn't look good no matter what you do.
The most important thing is trying to tell the story correctly.
Well, that is true.
So,
that is true. But without this stuff, it doesn't happen. So it's a high-priced item, but it's a great item and it's worth it. And you can see how well built, how well machined, how it's handcrafted. That's phenomenal. Yeah. Do you get to play with the lenses at all? Do you get to take them out and shoot? Do you have fun?
I always have fun.
So
this has been just being the owner of Cooke for the last 15 years has just been a dream.
I can only imagine. Only imagine. What is your favorite lens that you guys make? And if you can only pick one lens, what lens would it be?
I can't even answer that. I mean, they're all.
If I said I'm going to shoot a movie and I'm going to limit you to any Cooke lens you want, but I'm going to limit you to one lens, you have to shoot the whole movie with this one lens. What would it be?
I don't think that's not a fair question. I'm not going to answer because they're all. The Cooke look is consistent through all the lenses we make. So, whether it's the Mini S4s, the T28, or the S4s.
I mean, you guys do lenses
T2.
for Super 16s.
pretty much those
are
Super
done.
16 is pretty much
Pretty much done.
toast.
35 millimeter, and you've got digital, and you've got PL mounts, and people just have to go to Cooke and check it out.
Absolutely.
That's the reality of it. Cooke is, you guys just make the best lenses. What do you do? Do you like inspect each lens? How's the manufacturing process work? I know you're not going to give me secrets, but
we're not going to give you our formula for Coca-Cola. No, you almost had me.
Almost had you.
But people do ask me. I mean, I'm the owner of the company, and people say, "How long does it take to make a lens?" And the answer is, "I don't know," which is really sort of an embarrassing answer. But the reason I don't know is we're not piecework.
Right.
We say, a technician works on the lens until it's done. And if you can imagine how many pieces of glass and metal go into a lens, and all those tolerances, because nothing is exact, they put it in, they put it together, they look at it, they say, if it all lined up the first time when they turn the lock ring, they're done. It might take a couple days, but that never happens.
It's kind of like watchmaking.
Yeah.
It's kind of like having a Patek Philippe. It's kind of like having some other fancy watch that's really nice, a Rolex.
Yeah. And
Richard Mille.
They put these together, they like it, they don't like it, they take it apart, they do it again.
Wow.
They just keep working on it until it's right.
Wow.
And
so when you go to the movies and you see a movie and at the end it says Cooke Optics, how proud and excited do you get?
It seldom says that at the end of the movie. It usually says Panavision or Arri or something else. We don't get full credit.
You should.
From your lips to God's ears, please.
I'm happy to fight for you.
But when I go to see a movie like Hugo, where I know they used all of our lenses, the 5 series, the 4 series, and the mini series, I'm incredibly proud of looking at the film and seeing how pretty it looks and how good it looks.
And did you grow up in the business? Did you grow up? You didn't. You were.
No, I came into the business sort of sideways. I started selling Aton cameras back in the 70s.
Okay.
And one accident led to another, and here I am.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
And the culmination was actually 2 months ago in LA. We picked up an Oscar for basically for the lifetime achievement of Cooke. And on the Oscar it says...
They mentioned it on the Oscars. I remember this now. Yeah.
Yeah, and they said, but on the Oscar itself it says, for influencing the look of film for over the last 100 years. And that's what we've done.
That's awesome. You have. But holding that trophy, how proud were you?
It was just an unbelievable experience.
Do you look, I mean, what is an Oscar? That's amazing.
Yeah.
What's it like in your hand?
About 9 pounds of heavy metal. It's heavier than it looks.
How many pictures on your phone do you have of you holding the Oscar?
Not as many as you would think.
2?
A couple.
5?
Yeah, maybe 5.
And do you hope that your kids will get involved in the business and stuff?
They haven't. I hope they don't.
Really?
I've seen a lot of second generations
have problems.
Yeah. And Cooke's been around for 127 years, and when I bought the company, I made a promise to the workers there that I would turn it over to the next generation, and if it's my kids, that's fine. But I want to turn it over to the next generation in better than I found it. That I've already accomplished. We've built a new factory, we've modernized, we're making great strides. But I want to be sure it's around for another 127 years.
It would be amazing. It would be amazing, and it should be, because you guys make some of the best lenses. Certainly, if you're going to shoot a movie, these are the lenses to go with. And I got to tell you, you make phenomenal products. Thank you. Thank you for coming on.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I really, really appreciate it. You guys have so many new optics, so many new lenses. Everybody's just got to check out Cooke Optics. Go check them out, find out what they're about, and put their lenses on your cameras for your next film.